Oh, my watch? Yeah, it's a Whim smartwatch from December 2011. Full OLED touchscreen and all that. Too bad it's broken. Well, it actually works fine. I can't charge it. But it's a pretty sweet watch, huh? So anyways, I have a similar problem charging my phone. It doesn't always charge when I plug it up. And I'd like to know how many other people are affected by problems like this. So if you've had similar problems, drop me a line in the comment section below or something. Maybe hit me up on Facebook. I'd also like to know what can be done to make these kind of products more robust. Like, it's really irritating to deal with like broken electronics that it works fine, it just doesn't charge. And I'm going to discuss how this problem affects my current phone, and then show you every piece of broken plastic crap that I've accumulated over the past 12 months. It's thousands of dollars of cheap plastic crap that would not be broken if it were designed properly. And by the way, all these devices I bought with my own money. And I'm going to be talking a little fast because YouTube has a 15-minute limit. So if you don't have 15 minutes, here's the TLDR. Mo money, mo profits. Some technology companies design inferior products so that they break after a year or so of usage. Why do they do this? So that you'll buy another one next year. Basically, my BlackBerry is very particular about charging. It will not charge when it is lying face up. It will only charge when it is lying face down. And sometimes it just doesn't feel like charging at all. This is because some cheap USB component is partially broken inside. You're probably thinking, that kind of sucks, but so what? Just charge it laying down. The problem is, I can't see whether it's charging when it's laying face down. And the problem seems very simple, but it's a negative experience that I have every single day. Here's a video of me trying to charge my phone. Just plugging in the old phone here. Just gonna plug it in and set it down, and it's not charging. Oh yeah, I have to plug it in upside down. That'll do it. I wonder if it's charging. I can't see if it's charging. Maybe if I look like, okay, it's charging. Okay, it's definitely charging. But oh, I touched it. I probably shouldn't have touched it. Now I don't know if it's charging. Oh. And this is every day. Every time I plug in my phone. It sucks to wake up and discover that your phone is dead, even when you left it on the charger. And you know that you're going to be tethered to the wall for several hours during the day. You'd like to answer your friend's phone call, but to do so would mean contorting your body and maybe even hanging upside down off the bed. Anyways, what I'm trying to emphasize is that these flaws in technology lead me to have negative experiences. When I'm using your product, I don't want to experience frustration. When I experience frustration with your product, I don't want it to be something that happens every day or even every time that I use it. I want technology to simplify my life. And I believe tech has become markedly less usable and less friendly over the past 2 years. But that's a rant for another day. But this problem extends to technology in general. I'm about to cover nearly $2,000 in broken gear over the last 12 months alone. It's really hard for me to believe that all of this broke by itself in just 12 months, considering that almost none of my gear broke before then. But whatever. A lot of this stuff I could fix, given enough time. But time is the most valuable resource that you have. And when you're contracting and getting paid more than $50 an hour, you really don't want to have to slow down to waste time fixing shit. Especially if it's just going to break again. In a slightly unrelated note, now I think I realize why the guys in the infomercials talk so fast. But anyways, I'm about to cover the list of equipment here. Here's a Sennheiser HD 485 headphones, $125. Sennheiser Momentum over-ear headphones, $400. Samsung Mobile Hotspot, $200. Samsung Epic Smartphone, $300. Whim Smartwatch, $300. Mochi Mini DV to HDMI cable, $35. Nexus tablet from Asus, $250. It's stolen. Thunderbolt SATA converter, $150. Does anybody else feel like they're watching QVC? And this stuff isn't just broken. It's broken in such a small way to leave you wondering why it had to happen at all. Most of these are broken because the USB charging mechanism broke. In other words, the device is still fully functional, I just can't fucking turn it on. Sennheiser headphones, $120. Cheap piece of plastic broke. But it's okay, I duct taped it. Why the fuck did they design this with plastic? Try to fix these, but the stress that your head puts on the headphones makes it impossible to attach something that will hold it together. And trust me, I tried to fix them, but broke down and bought some new headphones. Sennheiser Momentum over-ear headphones, these are $400. I cannot elaborate on how fantastic these headphones sound. They have like perfect square wave reproduction on there. Great frequency response, yada yada yada, sounds great. Kind of sucks, they sound so fantastic that listening with anything else is actually a little painful. Anyways, the headphone cable broke on the first day, but they included 2 headphone cables. The second headphone cable broke after 2 months. Aww. Of course, the headphone jack is designed to be proprietary. You can't really see. You can't just buy a replacement cable from Radio Shack because it won't fit that little hole. You have to buy a Sennheiser replacement cable. Problem is, it's a UK company and no one has them. Anyways, I ordered one and it took over 2 months to arrive. So long, actually, that I had moved by the time it arrived and I never actually got it. So what did I do? I went to Radio Shack, I found a 3.5 millimeter adapter, and I cut it with an X-Acto knife so that it would fit. It's so ridiculous. It's kind of like the first generation iPhone headphone adapter. You had to buy a specific headphone cable to fit in the plastic, and all it is plastic. And they're assholes. They charge like $25 for something so simple, and any product will work, but they've designed it so that you have to buy it from them. Anyways, the problem with this fix is that the pressure that it exerts on my headphones while I'm wearing them is starting to affect the input jack inside. So the sound randomly turns on and off, and unless you're sitting very still, you're going to be really irritated. Like, you cannot move your head at all. Like, you can't, like, not even that much. Like, you can't move your head. Otherwise, the sound cuts off. Like, you're trying to listen to music, and it's just, like, on, off. Like, unless you are just sitting there just very still. Again, it's one of those small problems that affects me pretty much all day, every day. My headphones qualify for warranty, I think, but really, who wants to go through that process? Like, time is money. Like, well, hotspot, $200. This one lasted for about 12 months, and then just randomly didn't turn on. I found that again, it's the fucking cheap-ass micro USB components that are not properly secured to the circuit board. I mean, it's the component for power. Electronics don't work without power. Didn't they think to make this stuff a little more robust? I even took it apart to solder it, but I don't have a fucking microscope. Have you ever tried to solder microscopic shit? It's hard. I don't know how to do that without breaking something. You can't, like, spill the solder across any of the circuits on the board. Like, give me a fucking break. Samsung Epic smartphone. This is a great phone for a long time. I was happier with this phone than pretty much any other one that I've ever owned. I did run into problems around late 2012. Sprint forced you to load the phone with bloatware and bad updates until it slowed down. Of course, I just installed Cyanogen, and the phone was pretty speedy after that. I mean, it went from Android like 2.4 to Android like 4.2. It was 3 years old, and it was still good as new. I mean, I originally bought this in 2010. A lot of companies do this with updates and bloatware. Have you ever noticed how your Android phone was blazing fast when you first bought it, and then a year later after updates, it's a slow piece of crap, and then suddenly you want to buy a new phone? They do this to increase demand for new hardware. PC manufacturers also pull some similar shenanigans. Shenanigans. I mean, if you had a phone or computer that worked well and ran fast, then you wouldn't really need to buy a new one, would you? So guess what happened to my phone? It just stopped charging. Surprise! It just won't charge. I don't know why. It's a fucking $300 paperweight. What am I supposed to do? Break out the multimeter? Women's smartwatch, $300. Here's a gem from 2011. Yep, that's right. It's a smartwatch from 2011. Too fucking bad I can't use it because it won't charge. It's a pretty sweet watch though. It pretty much had all the things that smartwatches have in 2014, but Google acquired the company and the product disappeared. According to recent news, the WIM product wasn't rolled into the new Moto 360. Who knows? But I kind of wish it still worked, so I can rub it in when everyone's rocking a watch in 2015. Oshi Mini DV to HDMI cable or converter. This is $35. Wait, $35? What the fuck? For what? Thanks for locking me into your overpriced proprietary crap, Apple. I mean, I could buy an HDMI cable for $5. Why the hell is the converter $35? What is Mini DV anyway? Oh, like what's that? You said you charge so much money because of licensing? Yeah, whatever. Thanks a lot. Anyways, it broke. It lasted 3 years, but it broke. It doesn't work. It broke last night. I don't know why it doesn't work. I wish I knew because then I could fix it. I wouldn't have to buy another one for $35. Kindle Deluxe, $350. You can't even buy these anymore. Amazon doesn't sell them anymore because they're so fucking badass, and probably because you can load whatever PDF books that you want on there, and therefore you don't need to buy your PDF books from Amazon. Anyways, it's an awesome device. Just don't drop it. That's why I spent $50 on this baller case. I mean, it's a book within a book. It's the fucking meta book. I mostly use it to read notes for my Coursera classes. I mean, I pretty much have a university on this thing, no lie. I mean, it's like I'm carrying around the Library of Alexandria with me. Good news, it still works, but the USB cord broke. And I mean, it's just a USB cord, so what's the big deal? Well, you can't actually transfer PDFs to your Kindle without a cord from Amazon. I'm not kidding. You need the actual USB cord specifically for the Kindle. Otherwise, you cannot transfer files directly to it. Guess what? USB cable broke. Which is kind of okay. I mean, if either the cable or the Kindle is going to break, please let the cable fail first. And here's my Nexus 7 tablet from Asus. It's pretty cool. I had a little keyboard for it. It was a Bluetooth keyboard, fit perfectly. It was great. It was the whole thing was like $250, but it got stolen. Anyway, this piece of hardware had a particularly irritating problem, but it ended up being okay because I fixed it. And then it got stolen like a week later. Anyways, the tablet's battery fully depleted, and then wouldn't charge after that at all. Turns out it was a known issue, and all I had to do, after scouring the internet for hours, was use the charger specifically designed for the tablet. Other USB chargers didn't work. I had to use the charger that came with the tablet. Anyways, I had to try that for 30 minutes. 30 minutes of plugging it in, plugging it out, plugging it in, plugging it out, and then something happened, and it started working again, started charging, and needless to say, after that, I never let the battery run out again on that one. But then, like 2 weeks later, it got stolen anyways. I wish whoever stole it would give me back all the time I spent customizing it. I spent hours loading like Cyanogen and Paranoid Android on it. I spent time loading programming tools and getting a decent shell set up on it. Did they even know about any of that shit, or the time that I invested in it? Fuck no. All they knew was, hey, shiny tablet, me takey. And then again, if you're stealing gear and getting away with it, you might actually need to know about flashing devices and certain things like that if you don't want to get caught. But whatever, assholes. Anyways, Thunderbolt SATA converter, $150. This is still kind of working, but there's definitely some kind of weak component in there. Sometimes the hard drive will just disconnect. Kind of dreading the day when my data is corrupted because of this problem, which is pretty much inevitable. I can't really articulate how mad I am about this. It's coming, I can see it happening now, but what can I do about it? I already know that this could cause some really serious problems down the road, but I'm just going to have to deal with the fallout. Yay! Out of time, but forgot. Fucking Apple power cables. I can't plug this in the first time and just have it charge my laptop once. Can't do it once. I don't know. I mean, the things are like $50. What am I supposed to do?